Yeah, hi, my name is Damen Campbell from HGH Vallarta Clinic.
My name is Leon. I'm working with Damen here at HGH Vallarta Clinic.
Yeah, so over the years, we've had a lot of clients ask, what is the difference between the growth hormone brands? I always tell them clinically they're the same. And I'm not making that up. This is based off research. So what I have here in my hand, and you can download on the video, is a research report. It's titled Comparison of Growth Hormone Products and Devices. The research was produced for the London New Drugs Group. The research was done by the UKMI, which is the United Kingdom Medical Information, group. Okay, so the UKMI supports a safe, effective, and efficient use of medicines by providing evidence-based medicines advice and information. The research that they're referencing, in the research they reference NICE, which is the National Institute for Healthcare Excellence out of the UK. NICE provides evidence-based recommendations for the health and social care sector developed by independent committees, including professionals and lay members, and consulted on by stakeholders. Okay, so basically, this study was the comparison of 7 different growth hormones. On the list, it's Genotropin by Pfizer, Humatrope by Lilly, Norditropin by Novo Nordisk, Nutropin by IPSEN, Omnitrope by Sandoz, Zomacton by Ferring, and Saizen by Merck. So it's a pretty comprehensive study that they did, and they studied children and the growth. Okay, so I'm not going to read through the whole research report, but according to NICE, on the guidance of use of HGH in children, there are no differences in the clinical effectiveness of the various products available. NICE guidance states that the choice of the product should be made on an individual basis after informed discussion between the responsible clinician and the patient and or their carer about the advantages and disadvantages of the products available, taking into consideration therapeutic need and the likelihood of adherence to treatment. So really what they found, that there was no clinical difference between the products, but the most important thing that they want is for you to adhere to the treatment. In that regard, what they're talking about is basically the difference between the devices. All these brands at the time were delivered through a pen. Okay, so then it becomes down to, as far as the pen goes, which one is easiest to use and which one are the kids going to want to use more. At the end of the day, they decided that they're all the same.
Yeah, what I always tell our clients is that it's, the substance is like the same in every brand. It's Somatropin recombinant, bioidentical human growth hormone.
Right.
And that is in accordance to the study that they're all, there's no real clinical difference between any of the brands. It just kind of, I always tell them it comes down to making a decision between price and which device kind of you prefer.
Right.
In which case, people used to really like the Norditropin pen because it was the simplest to use. It's pretty much ready to go. You just take your needle tip and you put it onto the rubber tip on there and you just kind of set the dosage and go. Whereas stuff like the Omnitrope, you kind of have to assemble a cartridge into the cartridge ring, assemble the pen back, and then preset the dosage, set the dosage, and do the injection. I think it's a little similar to Humatrope, which also unfortunately got discontinued, right?
Yeah, Humatrope was discontinued. We'll get to that in a minute. So to continue reading what their conclusion was, if they have the discussion between the clinician and the patient, more than one product is suitable, the least costly product should be chosen, okay? Should be chosen. So basically it comes down to adherence to treatment and price. Because the medication is the same.
Right, you need to stay consistent with the treatment,
with your treatment.
If you want results. If you don't, then you're not going to get them.
Yeah, especially with kids, because the recommended is to take it every day. If adults, 5 days a week, 6 days a week is pretty good. You can do it 7, but it's, if they are 5, the world's not going to come crashing down. But with kids, it's more important because they're really trying to get a boost.
Yeah.
In their height.
The higher dose and stuff.
So the other thing is some patients may switch brands during their treatment. So if a client switched brands during the treatment, due to whatever reason, the author concluded that and this time they were taking clients off of, I don't know, Genotropin or Saizen or Norditropin, and they switched them to Omnitrope, and they concluded the switch to Omnitrope had no impact on the children's growth and provided substantial cost savings. Now, this study was done in 2013 out of the UK. Leon was telling me earlier that, early, because he had a client that said, this was sponsored by Omnitrope. I don't know.
Sandoz? Yeah.
Because it did say in the beginning that it's sponsored by the stakeholders, but these are all government agencies, and there was research done, and so that's the research report, basically in summary.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that the substance really doesn't change. I mean, what they do is they just kind of replicate the natural hormone that is in your body, and they just synthesize it, put it in a pen.
Yeah,
pretty much. At the end of the day, that's what it is. A lot of clients. The reason I've seen a lot that the reason why they prefer the Norditropin, or that they're actively looking for it, is because Norditropin. They say that you can keep a pen out of the fridge after first use for up to 3 weeks. That is a big selling point for people, as well as the practicality of the product.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of clients that travel, and
Well, basically all our clients travel.
Well, yeah, they travel. But a lot of them travel. They go to Europe. They go to Costa Rica. They're going to, they're going to different countries. And the nice thing about the Norditropin was that once you crack the pen open, it can be kept out of the fridge for up to 21 days, as long as it's under 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Obviously, you don't want to freeze it, so it needs to be but ideally, everything needs to be kept in the fridge. But Norditropin was the only brand that had that kind of gimmick. That being said, Norditropin has been discontinued in Mexico, and it was discontinued earlier this year.
It hasn't been in stock since late 2022 or something.
Right. And so that was kind of like, we dealt with a supplier that was probably the biggest supplier in Mexico of Norditropin, and they kind of ran out of stock at the end of 22.
Yeah, I think.
And
2022,
everybody's asking for it, and they didn't know, they weren't getting any updates, and finally, we got a notice officially from Novo Nordisk to the distributor stating that it was discontinued in Mexico, blah 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 blah. But if you haven't noticed, what's happened is the stock price of Novo Nordisk has been exploding through the roof, and this is because of Ozempic. Because what happens, I know they had an issue with one of their manufacturing facilities in Europe at one point. It was like during COVID. But Ozempic has gone through exploded, so I think they kind of reconfigured their manufacturing to focus more on Ozempic to try to meet the demand there. Now we have been getting some Ozempic, but it's
incredible demand. Huge. Huge.
It's been spotty. I mean, so they'll have some and then they won't have some. They have some and they won't have some. So it's been. Ozempic is the same as Wegovy. It's the same medication. It's just different brand marketing.
To give
one's for weight loss, one's for diabetes. Mm-hmm.
To give people an idea, is that, our supplier has direct contact with the Novo Nordisk lab. They're like the official Novo Nordisk supplier in all of Mexico.
Correct.
And they are struggling to get their hands on the product.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they get small kind of orders for it. And it just, in the first week of every month,
I think they
it's
get
all gone.
They're getting, Novo Nordisk is giving them limited supply. It's frustrating, but this is but they do. And then it's like, as soon as they have it, it's gone.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, anyway, so that's what's going on there. Yeah, this is Damen Campbell from HGH Vallarta.
That'll be all from us. My name's Leon. It was great being here. I'll be here more often.